Because of him, we know that they had the man. He took care of food, making sure people eat all these 40 years, okay? Because Miriam saved Moshe from the Nile with her wisdom, Moshe saved the Jews from Yam Suf also. Because Batia, she educated and raised him out of his home to prepare him to be a leader of the Jewish people today. So Moshe was the educator and the leader of the Jews in the desert, preparing them to get into their homeland to Israel. And because Tzipporah, she acted in the wisdom also and saved his life, so Moshe saved again and again the Jews from the anger of Hashem whenever they made mistakes. It says in Sefer Micha, וישלח לפניך את משה ואהרון ומרים. Moshe would teach the Jews the laws, the Torah. Aaron is for atonement, kapara, who is work in the Holy Temple, and Miriam to guide and teach the women. Okay, so Miriam was there to come and teach the women, be strong, be courage, don't be afraid, have faith, everything will be good tomorrow. Okay, keep giving them courage all the time, and protect your home, protect your family, take care of your kids. She would tell them, she would teach them what to do, how to do. You know, this was Miriam. עכשיו, because of Miriam, as we said, they got the well for all these years that they were in the desert, the water. And they say because she saved all these children and provided them water and food, she and her mother, she hid them that they won't be thrown to the Nile. She watched Moshe to see, if he's safe, because she was making a lot of chesed in the water. Okay, so she had the merit that the water, the well, came because of her to help to save the Jews in the desert. It says another thing. It says that Miriam had such or I should say the ladies of that came out of Egypt had such faith in Hashem that when the Shirat Hayam, when they left Egypt and Hashem made them the miracle of splitting the Yam Suf and killing all those Egyptians over there, so men and women started to sing, but women sang with a lot of excitement. Okay, they say that they brought with them from Egypt. They took with them some musical instruments. It's called tambourine. And how did they know that they're supposed to take these things with them? They knew that Hashem would make miracles, and they wanted to thank Hashem. So in a way, men were singing, yeah, but women with a lot of excitement. Women were dancing, women were singing, women were answering, and Miriam was leading them to all this. This is when Hashem, in a way, when you think about this, the slavery in Egypt was harder on women than on men. Because women have to go through all kind of through pregnancies. It's not easy. And then to know that la alenu, all these babies are supposed to die. What kind of feeling it to the woman when she knows that she's supposed to suffer, she's supposed to give birth, and then they will take her kids and kill them? And then their husbands are in despair, and then they had to work very hard. And so women, they say, were suffering in Egypt much more than men even. But because they felt the suffer so much, the pain and the sorrow, they felt it very strongly, they could also express their happiness from the redemption. They could express it very strongly also. And this is why they took all these musical instruments, they started to dance and so on and so on. Another thing that the Maharal explained, something in a Kabbalah, he said the Jews, in order for them to be redeemed, they needed to come to a number of Shishim Ribo. Shishim Ribo means 600,000 male, and as long as there was not enough baby, they couldn't get out of Mitzrayim. So Miriam encourages them, come on, let's have babies, so that redemption will start right away. And this is when, so this is what Miriam is all about. Continuity, children, provide, pruvu, multiply, and encouraging, and so on and so on.
She was married, right?
She got married to Kalev ben Yefuneh, Mishevet Yehuda. And in the time of when they left Egypt, of course, she was married already. Yeah. She was.
So after, you mean, she was in Yerushalayim already when she got married?
No, they were all in Egypt.
She was still in Egypt.
They were all in Egypt, yeah. When she was a baby, she helped her mother to give birth. She was a midwife, right? Later on, she got married, and she continued with her holy mission, okay, to guide them and to help them and everything. I'll come to it in a second. It says that physically, not only that she guided the women, physically, she was walking ahead of everybody. Whenever they used to go in the desert, she used to go ahead of everybody. It means that she was leading also men, not only women. Okay? And it says about her death, she's the only woman that says when and where she died. In the Torah, it says, "Vayavo bnei Yisrael midbar tzin b'chodesh harishon," which is Chodesh Nisan. "Vayeshev ha'am beKadesh," she died in Kadesh. "Vatamat sham Miriam." This is where she died. Kadesh.
She didn't get to Israel?
She didn't get to Israel. Not Moshe, not Aaron, not Miriam.
Not Aaron too?
No.
Moshe also, Aaron also passed away just before entering Israel.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
I thought Moshe did.
No, Moshe, none of them.
And only Rachel will know where she was buried. We don't know where Moshe Rabbeinu is.
Moshe Rabbeinu, we don't know. Yeah,
And,
he's in Or Har, in Har Nevo. It's in the border between Jordan and Israel. We don't know exactly, because they said that they didn't want him to be like a statue, like an idol, because he was a great man.
But he was buried.
He was buried.
People, they buried him?
Yeah.
Hashem
buried him.
Hashem buried
There are 6 people, it says, 6 people from the whole Torah that says that they met to mitat neshika, a kiss from Hashem. Is the lightest, the best death, if you can say such a thing. Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam.
Wow.
All these people died this special way. Yeah, because they did so much, they gave so much. Now, this is the time when we speak about her death, Miriam. What happens when she dies?
And the well,
No more water. In a way, because they had this water all the time, they didn't pay attention to this special chesed that she does, to the special zechut that they had because of Miriam. Once she died, this is all of a sudden when they realized, hey, we don't have water. So Moshe and Aaron, in a way, they were sitting and arguing, what is the situation, what is the circumstance of the nation now? Aaron is trying to always find the benefit of the doubt. Moshe is always trying to judge them like the way it's supposed to be. And Miriam was the one that would go in between them. Miriam was the one that would make sure that they have also water. Not the leaders that were high up there, but Miriam was the one that was in between the leaders and the nation and the people. All of a sudden that she died, they feel a whole big loss. This is when they say that he came to be angry, Moshe, and he hit the rock, and because of that he was punished also. But that's a different story. Let's talk about Mesirut Nefesh. There was this couple that died. I'm sorry. There was this couple that got married just before World War II, it says. And so some years they were able to hide here and there, but after a while they found the man, and he was sent to Russia. The girl tells this story. So her name is Goldie. Tells a story about her father. She never saw him. She didn't know where he is. Nothing. She herself, she was not born yet, but her mother was taken to the camps, and she was there with some of her sisters. And at that time, the mother, she was in early pregnancy, and as they come to in front of Mengele, Machshmo, he was the doctor that decided who was going to live, who was going to die.
Wow.
He saw her bump in her stomach, and they would never keep alive a pregnant woman. Right away, he told her, go to the left, meaning death. And her sisters are trying, no, it's from hunger that she's swollen a bit, it's nothing, blah, blah, blah. They don't understand how miraculously he agreed, and he sent her to the right side, okay? So she continued, she was pregnant there the whole time. She doesn't even understand the baby, how the mother was able to survive. Such hard conditions in the ghettos, in the camps over there. They purposely build their huts very, very low, so people cannot even walk. They have to crawl, beside all the other problems, all the other difficulties, all the other hardship, the torture and the killings and the hunger and that they had over there. And she says that beside her mother, another 6 women were pregnant and gave birth in that place. She was born herself in the most coldest time, 1945 it was, the winter of 1945, cold, and she doesn't understand until now, how she was survived. There was nothing to wrap her with afterwards. There was nothing to, no element, like in Egypt, the same way, in a way, no minimum things, for the baby, for the mother, and they survived. And you tell me a mother that works so hard right away after she gives birth, nobody's supposed to know that she gives birth. She works hard like always. How would she have milk to the baby? How would she give some nutrition, something? The baby survived. The couple, the Jewish couple, they felt that this baby that were born over there, they were like a hope for whether the war was finished one day or something like that. And they went and stole some sugar from the kitchen, which was a very big misur nefesh, because they were not allowed to steal anything. Even if people, they say, would take, let's say, some kind of sack from anything that comes to the camp, they take something to cover their feet a little bit so that they won't freeze or something. Right away, they would shoot them. The smallest, stupidest thing, they would shoot them. They didn't care. They were very cruel. And here, they went and they stole some sugar and they melted it, took some cloth, dipped it in this, and let the baby suck. This is what they had, and this is how they grew up, and they survived, all these 7 of them. It's amazing to see, she says, that on the last day, when the Americans came to free them, Day of Liberation, so they put them in this big train, had a lot of cars, this train. Every place that they go in, they wanted to sit together, mothers and babies. They got together. And it was full, wasn't room for all of them. So they found the last one, they had room, they sat over there. Disaster happened. When the Americans' airplanes didn't know whose train is it, and they thought it's the Nazis, and they bombed this train. And a lot of people, except the last one. All the babies or the mothers that were in the last car were saved. When Hashem wants, we don't understand why this, why not the other. We don't know these things, but Hashem has his ways how to take care of little kids or how to take care of people and so on and so on. And so I wanted to speak to you about the daughter of Paro, a princess that comes to this Nile, and she violates her father's command. She comes with her maids. Her maids tell her, usually when a king has a decree over his people, so even if some people don't obey, at least his family obey. How come you, the daughter, the maid told her that, how come you, the daughter, don't obey your father? So they told her, don't go, don't take this baby, don't go, don't take it. It says, "Vatishlach et hamata." So some say "Vatishlach et hamata" means she sent her maid to bring this teva of the baby closer to her, okay? But some explain "Vatishlach et hamata," she sent her away. She doesn't want to listen to her. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me I have to listen to my father. I want to do whatever I want to do. She was independent in a way, okay? This was Batia. Some say "Vatishlach et hamata," she stretched out her hand and Hashem made a miracle and she was able to reach that teva that was far, far away. Okay, so Hashem made this miracle so she will be able to get the baby.
We don't know exactly which one. I mean,
Really?
But Tishlach et hamata had two meanings. One, her maid, or one, her hand was extended. Amata, amaza
But
ayat.
why would Hashem extend her hand instead of bringing the basket to her?
Very nice. The idea is Hashem wants to see how we start. Okay, you have to start, and Hashem will finish. Hashem will, even though you can't really do it. There was this. I read this story about. I guess it was also in time of World War II. I don't know, but there was this man that was sent to Siberia because he was Jew, and he heard one day that a rabbi passed away. Now, how exactly is going to bury this rabbi? Siberia, as you know, it's cold, it's ice, it's freezing, and well, usually if people want to build a house here in New York, they don't do it in the coldest days because you have to let the ground, you have to let it get warm or something because you cannot really dig so much deep. It's icy, right? How can somebody dig a hole, a place, a grave to somebody that passed away in the middle of the winter in Siberia? So he says, let's try. Well, he asked his friend to come. The son of the rabbi was there, but he was very weak. He couldn't really help them. So these two people carried, cleaned him, took care of him, whatever. But then they tried now to dig a hole. So they had this iron beam, and they were trying to hit the ground the whole day. They work to make a hole. 14 hours he works, he was able to make 1 foot deep hole. That's it. How he will be able to, he starts to pray to Hashem, Hashem, please help me, we cannot do, we really want to, this rabbi to have his dignity, to bury him in the right way. Hashem, please help me, we cannot do it, we cannot do it. But because they really started, because they really tried, all of a sudden, it was already dark, it was already 10 o'clock in the evening, come 2 men, looks not Jewish even, with shovels. Who goes with shovels in the middle of the night, in the middle of Siberia, in the middle of the winter? Okay? They come with shovels, please can you help us? We need to dig a hole to bury, to make a grave. Sure. They didn't even ask how much they would pay, nothing. They helped him. He said in 10 minutes it was ready. And so he asked them, how much would you like to get? They say 40 ruble. 40 ruble was really nothing. You can buy a loaf of bread for nothing. Sure, he gave them, they buried him, they covered it. Now they had to make a 15-kilometer way back to wherever they were staying. But at least they were happy. Till now, they don't understand who was these people, where they came from, why they were walking with shovels all of a sudden. Probably 2 angels that Hashem sent because he saw that these people were struggling so much. They were really trying to help. You start something, Hashem continues. This was a point that we have to learn. So it says that, what I want to say about Batia, she was alive when she went to heaven. She never died. Okay? And Hashem tells her, it says somewhere over here, Hashem tells her, Vatakom be'od laila. This is what we mentioned before. She saw in Ruach HaKodesh that she's going to save Moshe, and this is why she was going there from early morning till late at night. And the source of her name is in Divrei Yamin. It says That in a way Hashem told her, Moshe was not your son, but then you consider him as your son. You are not my daughter, but I consider you as my daughter. Your name is Batia, the name of the daughter of Hashem. You're like my daughter. Okay? And this is the merit of...
So she did not, what did you say? She didn't die?
She went live to Gan Eden. And there is a special heichal. I told you once, there's a special... Once Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai had the merit to see where the mothers, the biggest mothers of the Jewish people, where they are in heaven. There's certain hechalot, special palaces for women, special palace for Yocheved, special palace for Bitia. There are other ladies as well, that they have a special room over there, a lot of people sitting next to them, they see it, they enjoy, and every day Moshe Rabbeinu comes to visit her. You know, as a Moshe Rabbeinu, as a king, you know, beautiful clothing, garments, joma, whatever, crown, and it's her best pleasure. He comes and greets her, and then he leaves.
Still now?
I will hope to be next to her.
Amen. Amen. Tzipora, let's finish up with Tzipora.
Her name was not, that wasn't her name. in Egypt?
It's not written in the Torah that her name is Batia or Bitia. It says in Divrei Yamim, her name was Bitia.
So she had a different name in
Bat
Egypt?
Paro.
I mean, by...
Just call her
As a-
Bat
as a-
Paro, the daughter of Paro, princess. Yeah. Tzipora. When Moshe ran away to Midian, he came to the house. He came to the well, one of the wells in Midian, and over there he met Tzipora. If you know, same way that Yaakov met his wife. Tzipora was the seventh daughter of Yitro, and Yitro, he wanted to punish Moshe. He didn't believe in him. He threw him into a pit, and she would come every day, hidingly, secretly, and feed him. Then later on, there was this thing with the staff, if you remember, of Moshe. And Yitro gave Tzipora to Moshe. They got married. It's interesting. Tzipora was the only mohelet in the Torah. We know that Abraham made a brit to his son, and second one that it says is about Tzipora. They made a brit to her son Eliezer in the middle of the way. All of a sudden, Moshe is in a danger because he didn't make a brit milah to his son. She takes things into action. She decides what she's supposed to do. She took a tzor. Tzor is a very sharp stone, and she cut his orla, and she made a brit milah, and she saved her husband this way. Then when Aaron sees that Moshe and his wife and his kids are coming, he says, "We're suffering here. Why do you need to bring all your family here?" This is when Moshe sent her back to her father. So Tzipora, in a way, she comes and complains. That's not fair. I wasn't seeing all the miracles with the plagues. I didn't see how I wasn't there when we left Egypt. I wasn't there in the splitting of Yam Suf. I didn't see the Shirat Hayam. I wasn't dancing with the woman. I wasn't in Matan Torah. Wife of Moshe, wife of the leader. So what did Hashem give her? It says that she came a Gilgul as Dvorah HaNavi'ah. Dvorah HaNavi'ah was a prophet, a leader by herself, not that, doesn't lean on anybody else, a leader by herself. It says, Bifroa Pra'ot B'Yisrael. She made a shirah, she made a song after they won the Knaanim. She says, Bifroa Pra'ot B'Yisrael. Remez lefri'at milah. This the brit milah that she did, Tzipora, to her son Eliezer. And in her time, it was again hard. People were despaired, were afraid of the Knaanim, Yavin, Sisra. Sisra was the big general. They were afraid. They didn't know. And she gave them so much courage. The Dvorah, you can do it. You can do it. Don't worry. You can do it. You can do it. And yeah, Baruch Hashem, they won. And she was, we have 7 prophets, women, female prophets altogether. We had Sarah, the first one, okay? Then we had Chana, Ima shel Shmuel, Abigail, wife of David, Hulda, Esther, Miriam, and Torah. So we know, it's a lot of things to learn about them. We don't have so much time. Let me finish. It says, בזכות נשים צדקניות נגאלו אבותינו ממצרים, ובזכות נשים צדקניות ניגאל. We will be saved, we will be redeemed because of this righteous woman. הרי הקדוש says that the last generation before Mashiach comes is the גלגול of the generation of the people that left Egypt. So in a way, what we have to do is to give courage, give support to our husbands, teach our children, educate them, teach them to Yirat Shamayim and all mitzvot and all what's needed, because women, as I said, women, whatever you do, have so much influence on your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren. It says about Avraham Avinu that when he left Israel and he came to Egypt, all of a sudden he saw his wife, that she was beautiful. You never had these thoughts before, because he came out of Israel, he came down in a way, but about his wife Sarah, it says, Nishara bechvoda, she stayed with her greatness. She never came down like, in a way, Abraham did. When she came to Egypt, she kept her purity. Paro tried so much to touch her, to come close to her, to get her. She prayed and prayed and prayed, and with her prayings, she made sure that no lady in Egypt for 210 years, okay, would have a hand of an Egyptian on her. A prayer of a mother, how it helps generations later to us, to save us Jews. Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi says that women are also obligated to drink 4 cups of wine on Pesach, Leil Pesach, נכון? בגלל שהיו באותו נס, because they were in that miracle. It's not only that we created the miracle, okay? And so Rabbi Akiva, when he came after having teaching, educating, having 24,000 students, they see his wife, poor lady, comes, and everybody's trying to scream, hey, it's not your place. He says, hey, sheli v'shelachem shelah, whatever we have is because of her. Okay? So, when Paro, he wants to outsmart the Jews, and he wants to kill the male and to leave the female, what was his plan? Women are so soft. Women are now nothing. They will die slowly, they'll get married to Egyptians, and that's going to be the end of Israel. What he saw that women took action. Women all of a sudden started to become leader. Women started to give the courage. Women started to give birth, to give courage, and so after all what we learned about women and our the big faith and everything, comes Hashem and tells Moshe Rabbeinu in the time of giving the Torah, he tells, Kotomar lebet Yaakov v'taged lebnei Israel. Ladies first. Okay? Hooray for women.
That's the movie all the time, they say.